All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. I just went live on YouTube. So, welcome to Tusk Talk Friday number 4. We got a lot of shit to talk about. A lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. Just kidding, not bad stuff. We've done really, really well this week, and I want to highlight some of that. Let me pause Walter real quick. So actually, really, really excited for this Ask Me Anything because honestly, I didn't know that we were going to do this well this week with the market conditions. So thank you to everybody that's invested, that's paying attention, that's involved in Walrus, because this is honestly pretty. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just through the moon, and I appreciate everybody being here. Walrus is a tank, and we're moving right through. So I want to touch on a couple things, especially just our current metrics. So if we look at some of our metrics right now, we look like we have about 750k TVL. It looks like we're kind of capping right there right now, but I'm sure we'll get through it, just like we have all the other ones that we were staying up all night to listen to and watch. The total share count, this is really good for people to understand and know. The total share count, we have 1,703 staked W shares in the boardroom, and then we have 694 pooled in the LP pools. So altogether, plus the DAO allocations that's not currently in farms, it's just sitting in the DAO. That's around 93% of total Walrus share locked. So it's pretty incredible, honestly. Walrus share is doing extremely well. To be the reward token and really just go on an uptrend from the start, right after Genesis, it's great. It's really healthy. If anybody's been in Tomb Forks, I'm sure you all know this. But it's good to let the new audience coming in kind of understand that. So we also have 128,000 Walrus minted now. Our current expansion is set to 3%, and at Epoch 60 we'll go down to 2.5%. We're kind of tapering down before we get to the dynamic boardroom, and that's just so that we can keep expansion kind of higher because we're growing our TVL into it really well. If that seems to be a problem, then I'll cut it back. We have 123k of TVL in the Magic W share vault, which is insanity. We have another 181k of TVL in the Walrus vault, which again is insanity. We actually have the biggest share of Magic AC vaults out of everybody, even EMP, everybody. We have the highest allocations. We have 300k TVL, and no one, that's about a third of their entire vault TVL. So I'm really, really happy to be that for them because I love the Magic team. And so I'm so happy that we got to use their vaults exclusively. And I think that we've built a relationship that, as they build that auto compounder, we have a direct line with them where we wouldn't with like other auto compounders that are kind of solidified, like, Yield Wolf and Beefy. I think we have a lot more pros over at Magic, and also they run a Tomb Fork, so we bounce ideas off each other, and it's really nice. I like the environment at Magic, so they agree with me, I agree with them. Overall, it's just a good relationship. So the treasury currently holds around 100k of LP. Most of that is in W share, but we also own about 40k of non-native assets, so like USDC, Bitcoin, AVAX. We've been making transactions daily whenever we see fit based on the allocation schedule we have set. We've been pretty rigorous on that. So, I'm very happy with how much we've dollar cost averaged into these positions. I do think we are closer to the bottom than we are the top. So, even if we drop, I don't think it was a bad purchase because obviously we're in a bear market. Nobody can time bottoms. And I feel really comfortable with the positions we're holding right now, and that we'll keep increasing on. Thanks, Avery. All right, so I guess, well, Dylan, did you have any early questions before I guess we get really started with some of the other metrics?
Yeah, we had 2 posted. Let's see here. Do I sound good today?
Yeah, man, you sound great.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Man, that's good to hear. DGen's Phantom, who boosted our server twice today,
Thank you.
asked, is there a raffle for each nodes holder?
No, well, I guess, dang, man, got me early on. I guess I didn't think about the different node or the different types of nodes. I'm gonna hit the drawing board back on that one because I don't want to say something and then it be a bad thing. I'll make an update on how we're gonna split the rewards. We may do 1250 for each of the biggest for Walrus Share and Walrus LP. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Just split it in half, biggest one of each. Then we'll give 1250 to each of those, and then 250 to each random noter for each one. So I think that's probably best. Is just split it in half.
Okay. A and B asks, can you please explain what happens with the nodes? I thought you said it was broken and used to buy Walrus. Is that if that is the case, how do we get paid in LP?
Yeah. So that was a mistake on my end, which I'd apologize for in the announcements. That was what I had originally thought was the restriction is we couldn't give out LP. But after getting with LB, the Great Finance Dev, it was found out to me that we can reciprocate the LP that you put in. So it'll work. You get back exactly what you're putting in. And that's honestly better. And I actually am going to cover LP nodes a little bit more in depth. But yes, we're not breaking apart any. We're actually keeping it. The treasury will keep a percentage of it, and the rest goes to a reward pool that gets paid out to anybody that's noting.
All right. A and B also asks, since we are being paid in LP, is it your hope that we will either stake the LP or use magic for the rewards?
Correct. That's exactly the intention. I think the breaking LP, where you could just get 3 to 4% daily on your 1 to 2 to 3% daily from the LP nodes. I think it's going to be really interesting to watch how people react with it because it's not a single stake asset. So you're not getting a single asset. You could just go straight to Trader Joe and sell. I understand that it's not that big of a deal to break it apart and sell it, but I think that it will make people think twice. And so I'm excited to see how it plays out. Regardless, we'll be deepening liquidity just from protocol and liquidity coming out of that. 25 to 30% of that is going straight to the treasury. So it'll be interesting to see. But yes, that is one of the great intentions that I have.
Okay. And our good friend Saint has asked, plans to add Walrus W share pair to farm?
Not really. It dilutes the stuff, right? It dilutes the Walrus share emissions, and honestly, that really has no purpose. That LP has no purpose. And I'm really trying to do things purposefully and not just kind of do things because I understand that the implication is that it reduces cell pressure, but the impermanent loss can be pretty drastic. It always is the lower end of one of the LP scales out of the three. And it's to me, it doesn't really benefit the protocol in any capacity. Because if people are going to sell their rewards, they're going to sell their rewards. They're not going to just like park it in LP just because it's available to park it with their Walrus share. So to me, it's not really a beneficial LP pair.
All right. That's all I've got for now. Oh, hold on. Numinati asks, how and when are Walrus added to rebate pool?
So in a normal rebate situation, such as Snowy Owl, whenever they first came out with rebates, they had massive expansions. So they had a large allocation of the expansions each time. They used a smart contract every single epoch, and they had a certain percentage of that of the their allocations that they were getting in the snow. They were sending it automatically. So every single epoch you saw it update, and then there was rebates available. Well, the way we've done it, we've restructured all of rebates, and also we launched it 10 days later than our actual launch. So we didn't set up any kind of allocations for the rebates specifically. So I'm using the treasury allocation to feed the rebate contract. So anytime I think that rebates are necessary or that we've ran over our, like TWAP 1.7 or something, I'm probably going to offer up rebates because, obviously Walrus has been pretty strong, but it's nice to keep it at the same levels up and down, because more people will jump in if we don't let it sit there and run to like $3 or whatever else. So I'm monitoring it personally, and we're sending the Walrus from our DAO allocations every day. Some days there won't be any, but I'll try and try and form a way to make them a little more predictable, I guess. I try and give like a 2 epoch notice, but I only put it around the epochs. You only see it fill up around the epochs because I feel like that's when everybody kind of looks at their tomb, their farms anyway. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for people to be like, oh, this epoch's coming. Oh, Lame Hillbilly said that rebates are hitting this epoch. So it's not automatic. It's completely manual, done by me.
All right, that's all I've got for now.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead, and if anybody has a question, feel free to raise your hand. I'm going to go over the LP nodes. So yeah, I think I covered some of that with that last question. Um, yeah, pretty much I covered everything. Now it's important to know that we will. I think somebody said that it may not count for TVL. It does indeed count for TVL on the website. So we will notice the TVL rising if we are, maintaining TVL or losing it or gaining it. If people use current LP and prices does not change, this will increase the APRs. I think that's important for people to know. Is if they're taking it out of the farms and putting it into LP nodes, the actual farms, as long as all the prices stay the same, the actual farms will start producing more walrus share, or it'll appear to yourself because there will be less TVL in that given pool. So if there's not a lot of new nodes being made, you can expect that the farms turn up the APR just a hair, depending on the success of the nodes, obviously. Um, this could perpetuate a lot of liquidity building very fast if the community takes to it, which I have no doubt that we will have some pretty good activity for the LP nodes. I actually have seen the LP node site, so it's up and ready. We were just testing some of the contracts. So obviously, I talked about the prizes. So we're going to do 1250 USDC.E for the biggest noder of Walrus, and USDC LP, and then W share LP. We'll do 1250 a piece for the biggest noder, and then we'll give 250 to a random noder of each. And we'll obviously start doing weekly giveaways to some capacity just to keep engagement into the nodes, because it's important that we keep noding up. One, for the protocol and liquidity, and obviously two, that's exactly how nodes work. So the more that we can do it, the merrier. And honestly, this is not going to be a jam-packed full Ask Me Anything, because what I've written down is really the biggest, hottest topics that I have. But I'd love to hear a lot from the community today. But if I don't, I'm sure I can come up with some stuff to talk about. Obviously, I want to speak on the education. It really feels like a lot of people are taking it well, that this is like really an educational, tune fork or a platform where the investors are educated. The investors are educating other people, right? The environment that has come out of this is amazing, right? Like really, really unbelievable. And I just appreciate it a lot. I have people reaching out to me in my DMs and asking, can I help them with marketing and stuff. We haven't done any marketing. You guys are just here, and we're gaining slowly. And the people that are coming in are real investors, and it's just awesome to see it that I chose to do it a different way, and it works, and it is working, and so it means something. That's a staple. That's something other people are going to look at, instead of doing these like shill campaigns and marketing with YouTubers and XXX. It's actually going to be like possibly something that people try and emulate, which is awesome. If people emulate this style, that is great, right? A publicly doxed figure that focuses on educating his community. If other people want to emulate that, that's awesome. So, if they don't, then that sucks. But if we do make some waves in this space, that's going to be the best thing that comes out of it. And so I'm just really happy with where our community side is, and I really do think that's 1/3 of an entire protocol. Obviously, the code, and then the actual tokenomics and stuff. But the community is a large part, and I'm just really happy with where our community is currently at. We're almost 1,700 members. Just doing like me going in front of like Dow King, Magic Farm, Magic. I'm going to their Ask Me Anything sometimes. Just like pure word of mouth. I'm sure some of you are telling your grandmothers. It's just really awesome to see that this style is working. And I guess it really excites me that we've done so well with a different approach. In my opinion, a different approach. So obviously we're going to be doing. I see a hand up. I will, of course, let you come up. Just 1 second. We have Frozen Walrus Academy. Obviously, I'll pull it up since I'm on the live stream, because I did a little bit of web design here, where I copied and pasted So I like the setup for this, but it obviously isn't going to be the final thing. I've just put something up just so people can go to the website, see that I have the name. But really, Frozen Walrus Academy is going to be, used by anybody. It won't have to be dedicated to Tomb Forks. Obviously, the advanced strategies will be geared towards Frozen Walrus and using it as a platform. But mainly, it's going to be talking all the way from like buying into an exchange and doing KYC with like Coinbase or something, all the way to getting MetaMask or Rabbi and learning to use that within DeFi. So it's really going to be starting from the beginning, and it gives you a large source of information that you can use in, you can send it to other people in other discourse that have questions. Like I really wanted to do all. That's why I've updated my camera. Obviously, I've updated my backdrop, and I'm trying to like appear professional so that these videos are received well. And there's more to go, but the Frozen Walrus Academy will probably do like NFTs for completions, and people that get that NFT will automatically get an X amount of walrus, so that you can automatically get into our ecosystem as soon as you're done with the education. Because honestly, if you do this education, like that's worth me paying you all to do. Because if you're going to be a future investor here, then it's worth it to give you, whatever amount of walrus for you to put it either back into the ecosystem or sell and move on to some other DeFi project. Regardless, you're a more educated investor in DeFi, in Avalanche, which in turn benefits everybody that's in this ecosystem. So it's worth it to me, even if I got to front the bill for a little bit. I think that in the end, it would be more beneficial than it would be harmful. So yeah, those are my hot topics. Obviously, we're going to be releasing so I've got 81 voters. We'll be releasing who gets the winery collection, and I think that thing's worth like 40 AVAX right now, which AVAX is obviously not doing so hot, but still 40 AVAX. But honestly, I wouldn't even think about selling it. I would go look at Grape and try and note up, because those NFTs are doing amazing. Their floor price has just been skyrocketing. So I'm really happy I'm able to give one of those away. We're obviously going to start a new NFT giveaway for the snapshot voters sometime in the next day or two, and you'll be able to pick from 3 or 4 more NFTs. We probably won't use the same one that won the previous time, so we'll probably pick another one. Then obviously today I'm going to let Dylan do it. We have our first our Walter's assistant, which I'm excited about. I kind of thought about that in the shower, and I was like, man, this would be awesome if we gave away stuff for people that were actually going out of their way, educating and being engaged in the community, and then let them be able to work up to another tier where they're almost like a community moderator, and they've proven themselves time and time again. And so I'm really excited to implement that starting today and get a new list of people that want to be involved in the community heavily. So Master Theo wants to come up. Come on up, buddy. Master Theo?
Hey.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
All right, you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear
Hi
you.
again. Hi again. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah, man.
So just one question. It's like I don't even know if it's like the best time to talk about it, because we're so over peg. It's like pretty cool. But like from an educational perspective, can you tell us, like some people say that it comes for every tomb fork, the time when it goes under peg. So could you explain so that I guess some of us that haven't experienced it could have some idea of what happens, why it happens, and to the best of your ability?
Sure. I think that's a good question, honestly. So thank you for asking it. So these tomb forks or seigniorage protocols, they are all geared. Hold on, I think I'm getting some reverb. Let me turn you down a little bit. So they're all geared towards going under peg eventually. What they do is they have inflations and contractions, right? What happens is we keep inflating with the boardroom because we're over peg. So what's that do? It produces more and more walrus. Well, eventually there's not enough buyers for the demand of that much walrus. So then we go into a downtrend where we either, we probably lose peg at that point. If there's enough sell pressure and not enough buy pressure, obviously the price will go down, and then the inflation has took hold. And once we are under 1.01 TWAP, we go into a contraction where we offer bonds and try and burn as much walrus as we can off the market, so that each walrus has more intrinsic value on its price, right? So there's less walrus, so buying one walrus will be worth more if there's less walrus in existence. And so that's the main gist. it is not a failure of a tune fork to be under peg, right? It's not. It's exactly what it's designed to do. It may not work always as intended, as far as like how it was designed, because sometimes when they fall under, people just get like, for some reason, I don't know why, but like people when they goes under, they don't take into account the community or like that this stuff is normal, and then people look at peg tokens that are under and they're like, oh man, this sucks, right? I'm gonna move on. But then later on, when it rockets back up to like 20% over peg, then they're like, oh, I gotta buy now, right? And it's this that's one of those things where it's like an education moment, that buying under peg, if you believe in the team, believe in the protocol, understand the tokenomics, that it can be really lucrative to buy the bonds, to buy the peg token, whatever it is, to try and keep dry powder to the side in those black swan events, or whenever the pressure gets too much for the peg token and goes under. But yeah, so when it does go under, like we've always been saying in the chat, and I think we probably should say it more, is make sure you are keeping, and if you want to dollar cost average your position, if you want to increase your position, keep some stable coins, USDC, to the side. If we go under, that's a great opportunity to pick up some extra and support the project at the same time, right? So that's kind of how the ebbs and flows of a tune fork. It's supposed to go under and above, and at first it'll kind of be volatile, but over time it's supposed to level out where it goes under sometimes for like maybe a couple epochs and then goes above for a couple epochs and then under a couple epochs. Something like that is what a healthy tune fork should necessarily do, but really tune forks aren't played correctly by like a community. Technically, like there's not a lot of experience in tune forks, so investors, in my opinion, don't always use them to their full capacity, and that sucks because there's a lot of good tune forks that are under peg for way too long comparatively to the products they're producing. Magic, but that's part of it, and it's I'm going to do my best to try and educate before we get to that scenario, but I have a lot of faith in what I've seen in the last like 12 days here. I hope that if we go under peg, people understand that it's completely fine and we'll get back up, right? So I hope that explains it.
Yeah, explains it fine. In my case, I can understand it because like when I got into crypto and DeFi for real this time, like I tried like experimented with it like 3 years ago, but like for real, I got into it about 4 months ago or something like that, and that was like the wrong time to invest because I guess a lot of people were seeing this bear market coming, but I invested in that time. Most of my projects are down right now, just like everybody. But now it's like when you really believe in these things, like for example, it's just a no-brainer to buy AVAX right now, so like for the educated investors, it's like, yeah, we need to keep a stash, like for investing in these kinds of periods in the general market, and like depending on where we are as a senior rich protocol, or where Frozen Walrus will be during that time, to like be able to DCA and then increase the positions during those times.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so thanks very much, man. I'll see you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming up as always, man.
Yeah, cool.
All right, we got GDB. Wow, and we've got 95 people listening. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. GDB, what's up? Talk to me. Uh-oh, he's muted. I think this is what happened to him last time before he got his ult.
It is. It's the exact same thing.
You got any questions, Dylan?
Yes. Hold on just a second. A and B asked, does Magic have models showing? There he is. You did it.
Look, I've got a problem, right?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you, but I can kind of hear you, but I can barely hear you. Is there a problem? Or...
Is it Dylan?
I'm on my phone, so it might be a problem. But
am I light, Dylan? Can you hear me?
No. You guys both sound great.
Yeah. Maybe you've right-clicked me and turned me down. Which is kind of an asshole move,
I
man.
think my phone's a bit messed up.
Come on, man. You got like 30 devices with different Discords.
Right, okay. I'll just say something and I'll pretend that I hear you, okay?
All right, man.
Pretty much, this is like a follow-up question to the guy before. so it gives people more clarity and stuff. So technically, is it the more longer we are over peg, it equals more time to like gather more like walrus, and then you can burn that when it goes under peg.
So I think it's best to just think of it as that the longer we're over peg, the more walrus will continue to print. When we go under peg, walrus will stop printing, and then we go into contraction. So yeah, you'll be accumulating it over because walrus will be printing out of the boardroom. So it's a great time to accumulate at that point. But obviously, nothing gets bought forever. There's buyer exhaustion, there's seller exhaustion. So it's important to know that even if we get buyer exhaustion and we go under, it's perfectly fine, and that we will recover. I promise you. And that there's no reason to start panic selling because all of the LP, this is what's crazy to me is all of the LP farms are continually printing, but people think because the boardroom isn't printing that it's seemingly a failed system, and that's crazy because you can still accrue and compound in our auto compounder vaults the entire time we're under peg and just coast it, right? And then they're going to be burning the entire time, and less walrus will be in existence, and eventually, literally eventually we have to hit a point where there's enough walrus burnt and enough buying pressure that it would go back over peg, right? There would, in a perfect world, in a vacuum, eventually, long after, like maybe even a year it might take, but walrus would be burnt to the extent that there would be not enough walrus and way more buyers, and then the price would go way over peg. So that's just kind of in a vacuum. But again, it's really, going under peg is completely normal. And the more I normalize it, the more I talk about it, I think the better it is for people to understand and take to. But GDP, I know you couldn't hear me, so.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's just one of those things of where people might be a bit like misunderstood where to buy in, and you just broke 100 in the audience too, which is cool. But yeah, like people are like, I guess like kind of confused when to buy. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're over peg, some people can say, oh well, it's going to go down no matter what eventually. So the best time to buy is under peg. So people might be waiting to get under peg, but.
Yeah, I had many whales reach out to me and say they were looking for entries and they haven't found it yet.
Yeah,
and
it is high.
I guess that's
it's what,
I guess that's good, right?
Peg, so.
You know what I mean? I hope that we can pique their interest long enough that if we ever do get to that level, that they're back and supporting it. We've bounced a couple times at really strong levels, seemingly, and so I'm pretty excited to see that like get tested again, to see if we get new buyers stepping in and continue this expansion so that we can get more walrus in the market. And continue, building deep liquidity, because obviously walrus needs to stick around these prices. So we need more walrus to stick around these prices and for people to continue building liquidity so that it matches and levels out. We're going up in liquidity, right? But walrus is staying around, $1.03 to $1.07. That's ideal, right? Because I don't want it to go too high because then people are going to be like, well, this peg token's way too high. But if it's $1.03 to $1.07, well, we're getting 4% a day, so it could still be lucrative for someone to jump in. And so I don't like it going anywhere past, like, realistically, like 1.8 would probably be, that's a little, that's going to keep people from buying in, so we're going to see some sell-off. You don't want anything running for too long.
Yeah, man. Well, it hit 1.8 today, right? I think 1.9.
Yeah, I think we had a whale jump in at about $1.06. And jumped us up, so that was really exciting to see. I was, obviously beforehand when I had ran, snowy and Arctic, I think I woke up like every 2 hours at night for 2 months straight, checking prices. And no joke, just because of like how the community's been responding to things and, just how well the launch went and how much support I've seen from like other protocols. I've been sleeping like a baby and it's been awesome, because I do have a baby, so it's been really nice to get some sleep. So thanks to everybody that has been just continually compounding. I think the auto compounders right at the launch was amazing. I think it really helped us start building some early liquidity because the APRs were really high, so all of the compounding was really big. And so I think everything went about as perfect as you could on a Tune Fork launch, right?
Yeah. And I think especially for building liquidity, it adds almost like a stable price. You know what I mean? It adds like stability as well. So I think the more people realize that, the more LP that you're like providing, it adds more like stable to the price. So like the price can't
Yep.
move as much now. Like if someone sells like, I seen someone sell like massive like a 10 or 20k sell or whatever it was, and the price didn't even move that much. You know what I mean? That's because it's like 300, 400k liquidity in. So
Yep, and that's one of the things that I love about the LP nodes idea. Like, think about it, is that we get protocol and liquidity, which never gets touched. It's technically almost permanent because the treasury benefits in having that. So we're getting that from these LP nodes. Then you're getting LP back. And then instead of breaking that up, you could get 3 to 4% in an auto compounder. So you could just continually add that every single day. So it's like you're getting 500% of your investment already over the course of however long it takes to get there. Granted, that's not guaranteed, but hypothetically, if it were to get paid out completely, then you're taking that every day, putting it in an auto compounder, building that position up. That's going to be more than 500% of your original position, right? It's going to be much bigger because you're adding to an auto compounder every single day. So I really think that the loops that you can get with these LP nodes is going to be beautiful watching on the liquidity side.
yeah. Right. This is the last question because I know people are getting bored of me probably. So, have you got any updates on the coin market cap or anything listing? I want to add like a price
Yeah,
target, so I don't have to
I
keep
know it.
watching the screen all the time.
I know it, man. I reached out to CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap said that we put it in day one, right? And I got an email back from CoinMarketCap saying we didn't hit one of their metrics. And then they sent me all of the metrics that I was supposed to hit, and I swear to you, we hit them all. So then I kind of got I don't want to say mean, but I did reply back and I said, can you just please elaborate like which one of these 4 items did I not do? And they said, we have the right to not list anything or whatever. I don't think they were being mean. I think they were saying there is something that we didn't have. And I think it was maybe trading volume. So I don't know if I can send them an email now and say, look at our trading volume.
Sure.
And so CoinGecko also is just taking a while, but they haven't emailed me about any errors. But if it takes too much longer, probably like a day or two, I'll probably just resubmit. But I know how important that is. And it's also really important for API data. For a lot of people that do things with like pricing and stuff. It's important for me for the API data. So I would like it to get listed on CoinGecko very soon. So I'm with you on that. Sorry about how long it's been taking.
Oh no, it's no one's fault, is it? It's just it's what happens with the game, innit? You just gotta keep waiting.
It's the name of the game.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I mean that's where I'm at the moment because I've got some money like in stables right now, so I'm waiting for it to go under peg or just somewhat closer. Do you know what I mean? Because
I understand that.
but I'm still auto compounding still. I'm just I'm really tempted to go in now, but like I just feel like I just have to.
I think you're like everybody else. They're kind of like they're kind of getting antsy. And the good news is that once the dynamic boardroom hits, if we're at 1.5 or 2.0 or whatever we're at, we have that dynamic boardroom that will print a little bit extra than the 1% we'll get if it gets closer to peg, right? So we'll get a little juicier prints, but obviously this APR in the boardroom will come down, and it'll be more enticing to use that share to LP. And that's kind of what I wanted, was like that arbitrage opportunity of APRs where it kind of levels out and we get some more share LP out of it. Because I think that the share LP is really important too, because the share takes big hits because people swing it so often. So I've always thought about like building deep liquidity in both, not just one.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's me done then. That's
all
all
right,
my
buddy.
questions.
Thanks for coming up like always, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, cool.
All right, buddy. See you. All right, Dylan.
107 people, man.
107 people. That's
I
crazy.
think that's like almost 30 more than we had last time.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a minute to do a random name generator on this one.
And this is what I'm talking about with that no marketing and really organic growth. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I just want you guys to realize that obviously we're doing a giveaway, so more people are going to be in here. I get that. But if you look at other Discords that shield and do all the normal, right, they'll only have like 6 people listen to the Ask Me Anything, and they've got 7,000 members. That's insanity. Something needed to change, and I'm happy that this is, working better than the normal. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do it differently. I'm just speaking in generals. You got any other questions?
A and B asked, does Magic have models showing how much walrus will be burned at certain TVL levels and how much is being burnt each day? But Avery from Magic replied and said, I made a burn calculator last night. Just waiting on our dev to put it on the front end. You can input the TVL, APR, and token price to calculate daily and yearly burn in money and token amount. So that's really awesome, man. Avery, you're fantastic.
Yeah, if you guys want to know why I feel so deeply about, like, obviously me and Owen, we speak a lot daily almost. But another thing is when that issue occurred, right, with the auto compounders doing a double tax to everybody, Owen and Avery instantly stood up and said, listen, we made a mistake. Not only that, but then me and him, Owen and their devs got on a video chat, or not even a video chat, just a voice chat for over 5 hours. And we got the airdrops done almost seamlessly after we got the data for the airdrop. There's not a lot of teams that do that, and so it's appreciated by my end, and I'm sure me committing that much time is appreciated by their end as well. And those are the kind of protocols that I would rather be in, other than just being like, let's get on Yield Wolf because it's got more exposure, right? So hats off to them. Their team's amazing. Anything else? And also the burn calculator. I'm so happy that they're finally getting that out. That's one of the things that I really wanted to see. And I think everybody that uses the auto compounder there, that being one of their big features, everybody's interested to see.
And no questions, just a couple more comments. If you wanted to finish up what you were discussing.
I can't even remember what I was discussing, but we do have the Walters assistant to give out for 50 Walrus. And I got to do the NFT giveaway.
You want to do the NFT giveaway real quick?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and do that. So how it's going to go, let me get back to my screen here. So I have an RNG thing here. 1 out of 81. I want to keep it fair, so I'm showing you how I do it. I don't have any fancy dev technology, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me. I may make it more advanced in the future, but damn it, this will work for now. So here it is, right? I have the snapshot up. There's 81 voters. Not all 81 of these are eligible. I think about 70 are. But I am going to do 1 out of 81 just to give, well, I just don't know how many don't have it, but we're just going to count from the top, this being 1, down however many it is. So if it's 1, this person wins. If it's 81, it's at the very bottom. I hope everybody's okay with that. Again, it may be adjusted in the future so that I can find better ways to do it. There may be a way on the contract side of this snapshot that I can look at all of the wallets that engaged in the vote, and then do a random picker like that and make it much more seamless. But I didn't go for the big brain take today. I'm running on fumes.
You went with the hillbilly way.
That's right. We went the hillbilly way. So.
RNG on Google.
RNG on Google, baby. It never steers you wrong. All right, so I'm gonna click it. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna click it once to show it's not rigged, and then the second one will be it. Does that make sense, Dylan? Before I do it,
that makes perfect sense. Just understand you are on a delay from Discord to YouTube. So
all right, so generate. That one would have been 71. Let's try it again. This will be the winning wallet. I hope it's not huge, so I don't have to count that many. All right. No, there's no way. There's no way, because 81 can't win, because I'll just go ahead and tell you. 81 at the very bottom, just to prove it. Doesn't have 0.5 walrus. So I think the top is like 60 or something. We're going to have to generate again. 52. This one will be a winner. All right.
Wallet number 52, come on up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. What was the number, Dylan?
I think it was 51 or 52.
47, 48, 49, 50, 51. I don't want to click off. 61E3 would be 51. All right, so it is this wallet here.
Was it 51 or 52?
That was 52. All right, so if you own this wallet, you're the winner of. I probably lost some people there just doing that for way too long. Should have just picked it off. I just thought it would be more official if I did it, but now I'm realizing how ridiculous that was. So I apologize. It was absolutely ridiculous.
That
so
was some backwoods shit right there.
Yeah. So, all right. If you own this wallet, and I'm going to post it in the announcements and at everyone real quick so that we can test it. All right. So if you do own this wallet, EF47, and you want to, get public praise for winning the giveaway, awesome. I'm going to send the NFT to it regardless because we know that these are active wallets because they're actively voting, so I don't have to worry about that. So if you don't want to be known or you're not here, perfectly fine. All right. So awesome. So now it comes to the point where Dylan, is the person that we're putting up for Walter's assistant in the chat?
I do believe so. I definitely saw. Yes.
Awesome. All right. So, this is one of many that I want to have. Walter's assistant, if you look in the community announcements, it's someone that is sitting in the chat, passing on this knowledge of what they know about Tomb Forks, of what I've presented as educational material. I think it's going to really help build like a more educated community and a community that can educate itself without like my intervention. And that's really important for the success because I can't be here 24/7. And I think there's plenty of people that love to do that. So, Walter's assistant will be the first step in that. I'll give 1 out or 2 out or 3 out a month. And then obviously, as we get more Walter's assistants, we're going to look to get Walter's wingman, which is the higher tier, almost like a community moderator. You're able to time out individuals. We have a special room under the mod chat where you can speak directly to the mods, and it's kind of like a team channel. You win 100 walrus. So it's something like that I really like, that could really boost up engagement, or makes you think twice. Maybe I should be talking. Maybe I should help this person out with a question, whatever it is. But this person's no different. He's helped a lot. He's been very active in the chat, and he's knowledgeable. And all of the mods felt like it was a pretty. There was a couple tight ones where it was like really close, but I think today specifically stood him out as somebody that should get it first. So Dylan, can you tell us who it is?
Yeah, like he said, it was a really tight race. And then, we were all kind of going back and forth on a couple people. But today, somebody submitted just an amazing image, just completely on the fly, right after we had just talked about coming up with a new icon. He went into Photoshop, took time out of his day to help us out like he's done multiple times in the past. And that person was Crypto Gamer. So you are going to be Walter's first assistant.
Crypto Gamer, thank you so much. Even today, you were really really helping everybody. So congrats to the first Walter's assistant. I know it's kind of gimmicky, but I really think it's important for the community and the development of the community. There was a lot of close calls, but at the end, it felt like that was probably the best and most active person I had seen for a while. So thank you for being here for that. Send me your wallet address so I can go ahead and send you the 50 walrus. And thanks to everybody. I know we still have a giveaway here for just listening to the chat. We have 1 walrus share. I see people leaving, but this is now the time to be here because we have to select someone that's currently listening to win the walrus share. So, Dylan, do you want to go ahead and make a selection for somebody that's listening to the chat?
Yep, give me just a second. I've been plugging names in throughout the AMA. Let me get rid of a couple names. All right, hold on just a second. Oh shit.
Hmm.
We've got a celebrity winner. It is Brock Lesnar.
Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar has won the Walrus share.
That's
Holy
awesome, man.
shit.
Well, if you are obviously listening, I hope that you're at least listening so that you can DM me your wallet address. I'll go ahead and put it on our to-do list to send out tonight for one Walrus share for you to do whatever you want with. I highly recommend putting it in the boardroom. That might be a little biased, but, I would recommend doing that. Listen, again, guys, thank you all. 103 people listening to us, and I assume most of you all are investors. From the bottom of my heart, like always, I'm so happy that you guys have chosen Frozen Walrus to come up and be a part of. So I'm going to let Walter play us out. If anyone has any other questions, speak now. Zephram, I'll get with you in the DMs here in a little bit. If I pass your wallet up, I'll make it right. So just let me know, because obviously I did say I'll allow it. So, Dylan, you got any other closing comments?
Just excited that Brock Lesnar was here, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
He didn't reach out to me yet, but I'm really hoping. See if we can get Walter to resume here. You can right click him and turn him down, guys.
I don't know why you would ever turn that down, though.
I don't either, honestly. Mom just called me. Better answer her.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So I'm gonna end the live stream here, but I'll stay up on the stage for a little bit and let anybody that wants to ask